Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's Spatial Innovision webinar series. So today's topic is tailoring your GIS environment, customizing ArcGIS user types and extensions. So we're truly excited to share some tips and information with you as we look forward to an insightful discussion ahead. So get comfortable and feel free to engage in the chat when it's necessary. So let's dive in. So for the presenters, I am Daniel Griffiths, the Junior Account Manager here at Spatial Innovision, and I'm joined by my colleague, Matthew Webster, who is the Vice President of the Geospatial Technologies Business Unit. And our question and answer segment will be moderated by the one and only Camissia Blackwood from our marketing team. So what's on the agenda for today? Well, firstly, we will explore ArcGIS licensing options, understanding ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise. Then we'll take a look at budget-friendly ArcGIS tools and strategies to help you maximize efficiency in your operations. Thirdly, we will discuss ArcGIS Enterprise, covering key factors to consider when deciding to set up your enterprise system. Next, we will take a look at available training and enablement opportunities, highlighting ways to improve your GIS skills and adoption within your organization. And then finally, we'll take a quick look or a quick update on what's ahead for the 2025 Esri User Conference. And this is the largest annual GIS conference worldwide, so it's a big deal. So following the presentation, we'll have the Q&A segment where we'll respond to your questions. So again, guys, please feel free to share your questions in the chat as we go along. But before we dive into the presentation, let's do a quick poll to better understand who we have in the room with us today. So the poll will run for about a minute. So at this point, I'll tie in Camissia Blackwood. Camissia?
Okay, nice responses to the polls, everyone. I'm seeing that everyone's having varying goals as it relates to their projects, whether it be facilitating collaboration and data sharing. But I'm seeing the most chosen responses enhancing data visualization and communication. Hopefully, at the end of this webinar, you guys will be able to better achieve these goals based on the tips that Matthew and Daniel would have been sharing. So let's get into the webinar.
All right, thank you for that, Camissia. So as Camissia said, let's get into the webinar, guys. So first, we will start by understanding ArcGIS licenses. So the key differences with ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise. All right, good. And then we'll have a breakdown, a detailed breakdown of ArcGIS, of the various ArcGIS Online licenses. Okay, so understanding ArcGIS licenses. You may ask, for those who are new, what is ArcGIS Online and what is ArcGIS Enterprise. So ArcGIS Online is a cloud-based GIS platform for creating, sharing, and analyzing maps without managing the infrastructure. That's the key thing. And for Enterprise now, this is a self-hosted GIS platform offering full control over data, security, and advanced spatial analysis. So ArcGIS Online is a software as a service model. But on the other hand, ArcGIS Enterprise, you have all of the responsibilities of managing your infrastructure. So that's basically just a short synopsis, of the both of ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise. It's really the tip of the iceberg, guys. So at this time, I'll hand over to my colleague, Matthew Webster, and he will give you a deeper understanding of the key differences between ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise. So Matthew, the ball is over to you.
All right. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, team. All right. So, morning, everyone. So when selecting a GIS platform, organizations generally compare ArcGIS Online and ArcGIS Enterprise. As most of you should know, those are the environments with ArcGIS operates. So while both provide powerful mapping and analysis capabilities, they differ significantly in deployment, control, scalability, and cost structure. So when you think ArcGIS Online, think cloud-based, think simple, and think easily scalable. ArcGIS Online, as Daniel mentioned, is a cloud-based solution hosted by Esri, and it requires no infrastructure setup. It is ideal for organizations that need quick access to mapping and analysis tools without having to manage servers. It offers automatic updates, built-in security, and easy collaboration, making it a great option for teams with very limited IT resources. With ArcGIS Online, users can create and share interactive web maps, dashboard, story maps, and much other content. However, it does operate on a credit-based system, meaning costs can increase if there is heavy data storage, geocoding, or analysis use. Additionally, organizations have limited control over data storage and security as everything is hosted within Esri's cloud. Now, when you think about ArcGIS Enterprise, you're going to think full control, advanced GIS, and integration. ArcGIS Enterprise is a self-hosted GIS solution that provides full control over your data, security, and system configurations. It can be deployed on-premise or in the cloud, making it ideal for organizations with strict compliance requirements, high-performance GIS needs, or even offline operations. Unlike ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Enterprise allows for deep integration with your databases, ERP systems, and advanced spatial analysis tools. Organizations can customize their deployment, manage GIS services internally, and avoid credit-based limitations with ArcGIS Enterprise. However, it does require a dedicated IT management team and includes hardware setup, security, and updates. So which one should you choose? I would say use ArcGIS Online if you need a fast, scalable, and easy to manage cloud GIS solution with minimal IT requirements. Use ArcGIS Enterprise if you require full data control, offline access, advanced geoprocessing, or even deep system integration. Some organizations actually use both, leveraging ArcGIS Online for collaboration and ArcGIS Enterprise for internal GIS operations. So ultimately, the choice depends on your organization's security needs, performance needs, and IT capabilities. So now we'll explore how ArcGIS Online is licensed. And just for context, Enterprise is licensed similarly with the user types, but has much more licensing, which we'll explore a little further. Now, each Esri user type, their model helps organization assign the right tools to the right people. Each user type has specific capabilities that are tailored to different roles within a team. Here's a breakdown of the 6 primary user types and their ideal users. So the creator user type is the standard license for GIS professionals who need to create, edit, analyze, and also share spatial data. It includes ArcGIS Pro Basic, allowing users to design maps, conduct analysis, and manage spatial data. And this is best for GIS analysts, developers, data managers who manage and build GIS content. Next, we would have the professional, and this is a step up from the creator license. This provides more advanced spatial analysis tools with ArcGIS Pro standard. It's useful for users who need additional data management and mapping capabilities. Ideal for experienced GIS users and specialists managing larger data sets. And lastly, on the core ArcGIS team members, you have the Professional Plus, which I like to call the big boy. It's the most advanced GIS license, and it includes ArcGIS Pro Advanced and premium analytical extensions like your 3D analysts, your spatial analysts, network analysts, geostatistical analysts, and many more extensions. So with that Professional Plus license, you actually get access to all those extensions. This is perfect for your GIS experts, urban planners, and environmental analysts handling complex geospatial modeling, terrain analysis, and high-level cartography. So you can call it your final boss. To note though, with your creator and professional license, you can also add extensions with these licenses. So if it is that you require 3D visualization with your mapping work and you have a professional or a creator license, you can buy a 3D analyst extension and add it on. Similarly, your spatial analyst, network analyst, and all those extensions which you've possibly used can also be paired with these licenses based on the new licensing model. Now, to note, each ArcGIS online organization requires at least one core ArcGIS team member. So if it is that you're setting up an organization, you would need to have a core team member on the team, and then you can pair them with your collaborators, who I would take a look at now. So let us start with your mobile worker. Your mobile worker is designed for field-based users, and this license provides access to mobile GIS apps like your ArcGIS Field Maps, Survey 123, and it allows workers to collect and update data on the go. It's best used for surveyors, field technicians, utility inspectors, and anybody who needs to record field data in real time. So if you have a mobile workforce going out, the mobile worker license would be for them. Next, you have your contributor. This license allows users to update and maintain existing GIS datasets without the full creation or analysis capabilities. It's best for data editors or quality control staff who ensure your maps and datasets remain accurate and up to date. And lastly, you have your viewer, the most basic user type, and it provides read-only access to your GIS content. It allows users to view and interact with maps, dashboards, and reports, but they can't edit them. It's best for your executives, your decision makers, and your non-GIS staff who just need to review the spatial information, but are not required to do any form of editing. And by assigning the right user types, organizations can balance cost efficiency with functionality, ensuring each team member has access to the tools that they need. And talking about cost efficiency, this is a perfect time to segue into budget-friendly ArcGIS tools and strategies.
All right, thank you for that, Matthew. Truly good information. So as Matthew stated, we'll dive into the budget-friendly side of things. So the first tool or strategy that we'd want to encourage you to utilize is to take advantage of Esri's free training and community resources. So one of the best ways to learn ArcGIS or learn GIS in general is through Esri's massive open online courses, aka the MOOCs. So Esri offers multiple free courses covering key GIS topics such as spatial analysis, geospatial data management, and web mapping. So these MOOCs are designed to the beginner-friendly audience while offering advanced insight for experienced users. And one thing I really like about them is that they include exercises, quizzes, and even certifications upon completion. And another benefit is that it is self-paced. So it really allows you to learn at your own pace. And I mean, who doesn't want that? So in addition to the MOOCs, Esri hosts regular webinars, and these would cover real world application of GIS in different industries such as environment management, urban planning, and disaster response, to name a few. So next, we can also look at the ArcGIS Learn Hub. So this is a platform that contains guided lessons, tutorials, and exercises on GIS concepts and workflows. And the best part about this is that you don't need an advanced GIS license to utilize these resources. And another thing that we would really encourage you guys to utilize is the Esri community and GitHub. So we all know that GIS can sometimes be complex, but when you run into challenges, the Esri community is a great place to get help. So the Esri community is an online forum where thousands of GIS professionals share solutions, they ask questions, and they collaborate on projects. And another valuable resource would be the Esri GitHub repository. So here you'll find open source tools, scripts, and if you want to automate things, then it's available. So whether you want to dive into Python, for those who love to code, or create custom web apps or extended ArcGIS online capabilities, then the GitHub has sample codes that you can utilize. And another thing that we'd want to encourage is to leverage the low-cost spatial analysis tools. And we have 3 of them listed here. We have the buffering and overlay tool. So this tool really helps you to identify relationships between geographic features. Like for example, find all schools within a 1 kilometer distance of a road. When we look at the hotspot analysis, then this tool is really used to detect patterns of high or low values within a data set. So it's really good for crime hotspots in a city. And then when we look at the proximity analysis, as the name states, it really measures the distance between locations and it can drive time errors with this. So these are all some budget-friendly tools that you can utilize with ArcGIS Online. Also, to add to these, we want to bring you into the ArcGIS Living Atlas. So a common challenge in GIS is actually finding reliable, high-quality data sets. So instead of spending extra money on data collection, you can use ArcGIS Living Atlas. And this platform really provides data that is ready to use. And we see that Esri, they provide most of this data for the most part. And this platform really gives you access to a global data set, whether it is demographics, environment, transportation, or even land use. So it really offers real-time data, even weather conditions, traffic patterns, and satellite imagery, and the list goes on from there. Another budget-friendly tool that we encourage you guys to utilize are the OpenStreetMap layers, aka the OSM. So the OpenStreetMap layer, it's a crowdsourced mapping platform that provides detailed geographic data, such as roads, buildings, and land features. And this is extremely good, if you want to enhance your maps. And it's also great for urban planning, disaster response, and even navigation projects in general. So another tool or strategy that we'd want you to utilize is the free web apps and the configurable templates. So building GIS applications doesn't have to be expensive or require coding skills, so to speak. So ArcGIS Online provides free apps and configurable templates to help you create interactive maps and dashboards. And some of the tools listed here are really good. So if we should consider the ArcGIS Story Map tool. So this really helps you to create interactive stories, combining maps, text, images, and multimedia. For the ArcGIS Dashboard tool, This helps you to build real-time dashboards to visualize data using your charts, your graphs, and your maps. And for the experience builder and instant apps, it helps you to quickly develop apps, again, without the necessary coding skills. It's as simple as that. So these tools are really great for organizations that need to share GIS insights in a visually engaging way. So I really encourage each and every one of us, if you're not doing so already, to utilize these budget-friendly strategies. So we'll touch on the matter of credits. Tips to optimize your ArcGIS online credit usage. So you may wonder, what are credits? Well, let me help you out. So ArcGIS online credits are the currency used in ArcGIS Online for premium services, including feature storage, analysis tool, and even premium data access. So picture it in this sense. Consuming credits is similar to using a ride share service. So instead of buying a car and paying for maintenance, you simply pay for the rides when you need them. So in a similar sense, when you need to use premium services such as feature storage, analysis tool, or premium data, then you would use credits. So yeah, credits are really important in ArcGIS. And what's also important is how you manage them. So the first tip that we have on the list here, you should enable credit budgeting. So in ArcGIS Online, administrators can allocate a specific number of credits to each member throughout a feature called the credit budgeting feature. So with this, members can view their available credits on their settings page, and this really promotes awareness and responsible usage of credit consumption. The second point, create custom roles. So not all members require access to all tools, especially those that consume a significant number of credits. So by creating custom roles with tailored privileges, admins can limit the access to high cost functionalities. And it's a good practice, It's really good for members, when they want to limit what you can do with the credit usage. Thirdly, we'll look at to monitor and report credit usage. So regular monitoring of credit usage helps to identify patterns and potential areas of concern, where you want to improve and so forth. So a good thing is that ArcGIS Online provides tools for admins to track and report credit consumption. The other point we want to touch on is to optimize data storage, which is crucial. So data storage, especially feature storage, can significantly impact credit consumption. So implementing strategies to manage the storage, as I said before, it is of utmost importance. So strategies that you can use is data compression, regular audits, even thinking about alternative storage solutions for larger data sets. For the other point that we want to encourage you to utilize here is to utilize credit estimation tools. So before performing operations that consume your credits, it's really good that you'd want to have an estimate in mind about the potential usage. So ArcGIS Online offers tools to help users to anticipate credit consumption. So users can adjust their analysis to stay within the budgeted credits. So being informed about potential credit usage before actually executing the task is great as it relates to cost-effective decisions. And for the last point now, we can't emphasize this enough. We encourage you to educate team members. So awareness is a powerful tool in credit management. Educating team members about credit consumption and best practices promotes a culture of responsibility. So some strategies that you could really implement is, implement training sessions where you conduct workshops to explain how credits are consumed and even post strategies to optimize the usage. And even implement regular team updates where you'll share reports and give insights on credit usage so that everyone can be informed and be in the know about the credits. So those are some practical tips that we really encourage you guys to utilize. And at this time, I'll hand over back to Matthew as he will touch on the special ArcGIS programs. Matthew?
All right, thanks, Daniel. All right, so taking a look at a few special ArcGIS programs, as you can see, the context of our presentation is around budgeting and ensuring that you're getting ArcGIS within your organization to match your needs. So we are going to look at two special programs. The first one being the Esri Nonprofit Organizational Program, which is available to eligible nonprofit organizations where they receive discounted access to ArcGIS software and resources to help them leverage GIS for good. In the Caribbean, we've seen disaster response agencies take this up, conservation and environmental protection agencies, community development agencies, and organizations use it for health and social services mapping. Another program we have here is the Esri's Educational Program, which provides affordable access to ArcGIS technology, training, and resources for schools, universities, and research institutions to integrate GIS into their teaching and learning. So these are two great programs that offer discounted access to software within the Esri portfolio. One that's not listed here, we also have what we call ArcGIS bundles, which we have a few bundles which match a few specific sectors, agencies. So we have, like, if you're in the utility sector, the statistics sector, those are some sectors that if you're interested in any bundles, there are also some what you call discounted bundles available to those organizations. Also, if you're in the OECS territories, there are also bundles available within those territories. So if you have any interest in learning more about those, you can always feel free to reach out to us offline. Now, I've prepared here a little case study just to make the presentation a little bit more practical as a part of the discussion. So I am looking at a small budget-conscious organization, probably has a small GIS team, and we're looking at 4 persons here. We have Jack, who is your project manager. He's holding the bulb, expressing his ideas to his wider team. We have Jill, who is your GIS specialist. You see her on her mobile phone, so I'm sure she's on ArcGIS, probably looking at the results of some surveys that were completed. And just to note, she's not an expert, but she's a seasoned GIS analyst in our case study here. And then we have 2 data collection officers, people that are in the field who are maintaining, collecting data as they go. We call them Mary and John. So we have here Jack sharing his ideas with the team, and more so, what he's expecting to achieve from this project, the outputs that he's expecting to receive. So those inputs are pretty much being fed to Jill, and she's now designing this ArcGIS system to say, okay, what is the best way that we can achieve this? What are the best tools for us to use? And as a part of that workflow, they have 2 data collection officers that are going out into the field and collecting data. So they would, as you can see, have a bunch of paper around them, a lot of paper around them. So they may have started the project by digitizing their old records, those data points, bringing them into ArcGIS Online, and now so probably going out into the field with their mobile phones and capturing data. So based on this configuration, just to give you an idea, since we're talking about licensing and how it would work, in my estimation, I think the GIS specialist would require an ArcGIS professional standard, ArcGIS professional license, which gives her access to ArcGIS professional standards so that she can do her analysis at the level that she's used to, I would say. And she would have her 2 data collectors going out into the field, her mobile workforce, as we'd call it, set up with a 2 mobile worker licenses. And then now you'd have Jack, who is the project manager, and all he needs to do is just view the reports, view the dashboards, because he's more interested in the results so that he can make better decisions as the project go along. Now, let us say that along with Jill having her ArcGIS professional license, that she may need an extension like a spatial analysis tool. So she may need a spatial analyst extension that gives her even more spatial analysis tools. I guess that's how I should say it. Then if you throw that in the mix, I can tell you that covering this 4-person team along with that extension, this team didn't have to break a 5,000 budget for the year. So it's just to say, as I say, licenses are scalable. If they need to add any members to the team, then they can always just add a license to that. If the team is going to be reduced, let us say that they're going to only send 1 mobile worker into the field, then they could always opt to reduce that count as well. And that's the scalability that ArcGIS Online offers. And let us say that Jill may want to move from ArcGIS Professional Standard to ArcGIS Professional, from ArcGIS Professional to ArcGIS Professional Plus, where she can access ArcGIS Professional Advanced. Then that is also a possibility that can happen for them. My general rule of thumb for organizations like this, especially if it is that you require using multiple extensions, maybe as an expert. So whether it may be that you need to use the 3D analyst extension for 3D visualization, but you also need to use a spatial analyst tool for additional spatial analysis. My general rule of thumb is to get the Professional Plus license because it does give you access to about 7 or 8 extensions as a part of that package. So as I said, with what they would have had, they didn't have to spend $5,000 for the year to achieve what they were setting out to achieve. Now, as we continue, we are going to segue a bit in terms of when you're deciding to move maybe from ArcGIS Online to ArcGIS Enterprise. When is the right time, if it is that maybe you didn't start there. So transitioning to ArcGIS Enterprise makes sense, and when your organization has growing GIS needs that go beyond what ArcGIS Online can offer, because maybe you've grown out of it. Here are some key signs when it's time to make that switch. So if it is that you find that you need full data control and security, then ArcGIS Enterprise may be for you. So you may be handling sensitive or regulated data. Say you may work in the government, you may work in healthcare or defense. Then ArcGIS Enterprise could be for you. If you have compliance that you have to follow with internal IT policies or regulations, whether it's HIPAA in overseas or the GDPR, you require full control over storage and security, then you could look into ArcGIS Enterprise. And if your organization needs custom authentication methods, then this would be for you. Now, point 2, if you have large-scale GIS operations, and you may need high-performance GIS for large data sets, intensive spatial analysis, or even 3D visualizations, it work for you. If you frequently publish and manage large volumes of map services, or if your team requires advanced geoprocessing tools beyond what ArcGIS Online offers, then it would be a good time to look at ArcGIS Enterprise. If you require integration with enterprise systems, if you need deep integration with your internal databases, your ERPs, or your CRM, there you go. If you also need direct SQL database access or require custom GIS applications that interact with your existing internal workflows, ArcGIS Enterprise works for that. If you have offline and private network needs, so if you need to operate in disconnected or secure environments, whether like military bases or remote field operations, if you need GIS services that function without internet access, or if it's just cost considerations for a large user base. So because ArcGIS Online has a credit-based system or it's becoming too costly, then ArcGIS Enterprise may be for you. Or if you just have a large number of GIS users, and making the enterprise license, it may be more cost effective for you, then you could look at that depending on the number of users that obtains within your organization. Now, when deploying ArcGIS Enterprise, organizations would have to choose between cloud-based and on-premise solution. Each has their unique advantages depending on business needs. So on screen, I'm sharing a matrix that you can take a look at, but I'll walk you through it as well. So for a cloud deployment, it leverages providers like your AWS, your Microsoft Azure, or even Google Cloud, offering scalability, flexibility, and reduced IT overhead. Since hardware maintenance is handled by the cloud provider, organizations can focus more on their GIS applications rather than the infrastructure management. Cloud deployments allow pay-as-you-go pricing, making them cost-effective for businesses that need to scale up and scale down dynamically. They also provide built-in disaster recovery, automated updates, and seamless integration with cloud-native tools like AI, IoT, and big data analytics. However, they require internet access, and data security really depends on the provider's compliance standards. Now, for on-premise deployments, on the other hand, those gives organizations full control over their data, security, and system configurations. This is ideal for industries with strict compliance regulations such as government, healthcare, and defense, or those operating in offline or restricted network environments. Performance, though, is limited by your internal hardware resources, requiring dedicated IT staff for maintenance, backups, and security management. While upfront investment in infrastructure is higher, long-term costs may be lower for organizations with consistent, high-volume GIS workflows. So deciding which one is right for you, I would put it this way. If you need scalability, minimal IT maintenance, and integration, then cloud services, cloud deployment would be the better choice. If data control, security, and offline access are your top priorities, then an on-premise solution is ideal. However, I will say, some organizations actually use a hybrid approach, keeping sensitive data on-premise while leveraging cloud resources for the scalability features. Ultimately, again, the right choice depends on your organization's security, performance, and budget needs. Now, we'll take a look at some training and enablement resources just to get you pretty much started and underway. So as Daniel have spoken about the ArcGIS Learn Hub, once you are a licensed ArcGIS user, you have access to the Esri Academy, as well as the ArcGIS Learn Hub. So feel free to always go in there, do some tutorials, and get some theory under your belt, because they do offer certificates as well at the end of those courses. You also have instructor-led training courses that's led by Spatial Innovision. If it is now that you want a more intimate session, maybe you want to go through your exact kind of workflows, and we can tailor our courses to probably assist depending on the needs of your organization. So we also offer instructor-led training courses for organizations. We also do offer professional services, starting from the design phase, the implementation phase, and if it is that you require advisory services. And lastly, we have our spatial technology adaptation roadmap. And this was designed based on our experience, where we've observed that the customer journey from the kickoff to initiation to project success inevitably mandates a customer-specific roadmap to include knowledge and skills transfer into the talent base at the organization. The engagement, the motivation, and problem solving of an organization is critical to the geospatial project success and the sustainability of the organization. So the program, as I mentioned, was designed with our general understanding of how our clients typically redefine their traditional organizational context to a more geo-intelligent one. With the STAR program, a customer can acquire credits that may be fluidly and flexibly consumed at any time, at any phase, for any service type on an as-needs basis. And services that they can acquire may include specific technical advisory, learning services, or even implementation services during the phase rollout of your GIS enablement program. Now, with that said, I'm going to share a quick bit about the Esri User Conference, which happens in July. So as Daniel would have mentioned, the Esri User Conference is the premier place for GIS professionals and enthusiasts to learn and connect through their shared perspective of geography. So it really is the largest GIS conference, especially if you're an enthusiast, it's definitely recommended that you're there. The conference offers training for all levels. So from a beginner right up to expert, learning is lifelong. So the conference offers training for all levels and allows for the discovery of new insights and innovative technology. Plus, you have the ability to connect with your peers along with other experts, because sometimes when you talk GIS to people and they don't know about it, you're going into a room of, last year we had over 20,000 attendees, who are excited about GIS, maybe just like yourself. Approximately 450 attendees last year were from the Latin American region. And out of that Latin American 450 contingent, the Caribbean would have had over 30 representatives, would have included a contingent from Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Bahamas, and a few more countries. Now, I will say that there is a draft agenda on the Esri website. So you can just Google Esri User Conference, and you can actually see a draft agenda, a draft daily agenda of the conference if it is that you're interested, as well as more registration information. And lastly, on this point, if it is that you require support with the justification for your travel to the conference, always feel free to reach out to us. We can assist you with putting together that justification for travel to the Esri User Conference. However, as we mentioned, it is the world's largest GIS conference in San Diego. It's very fun, filled with activities, filled with a lot of breakout rooms. No matter which sector or what kind of workflows you work with, there is a community for you that you can go right through in terms of what you can view. Plus, they generally have a large open floor of solution engineers and product specialists that you can feel free to walk and engage with any of them about specific needs that your organization may have. So just sharing some representation from last year's user conference. So in the middle here, we have President Jack Dangermond. He is always there. So God's willing, he'll be there again this year. He does an awesome plenary. On the right here, we have one of our winners of an Esri Special Achievement GIS Award last year, one of two winners from the Caribbean. This is Mr. Najib Hall, who represents Jan Industries, who is an Esri partner of ours and doing excellent work. They have about 5K annually, so if you're interested in fitness, be a part of the activities, because outside of the GIS, they do build the community through a series of activities, including the 5K, morning yoga, and also they have a party on the Thursday night. So a great way to network with your peers within GIS. This was just a Caribbean kind of lunch we had. We had 2 sets, so this was just one set of the team. And one of our Caribbean representatives actually presented at the Esri User Conference last year, which is Mr. Tariq Dixon here, who my cursor is highlighting. So that brings me to the end point of my presentation. We'll move to the question and answer led by Camisio, and I do hope that it was a good presentation for all. All right, Camisio, I'm sharing for you now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you, Matthew. It was a very insightful presentation. I'm sure that we have a couple of questions running in the minds of our attendees. So while I give everyone a chance to submit your questions in the question and answer feature, I do see one. I'm not sure which one of you guys would like to take it, but this says, what does a professional first license cost?
All right, so to give you a precise quote, I'd ask you to share an email, but I would say its rough order of estimate would be somewhere about 4,800. So call it maybe 5,000. But it should be less, but ballpark it's somewhere around there. Somewhere between 4,500 to 5,000 annually.
Okay, still looking out for questions if you guys have any, but I'm also seeing in the chat where someone asked, is that 5,000 US or 5,000 Jamaican dollars? I believe this refers to your little case study earlier, Matthew.
Oh, sure. I can answer, Mr. Biskin. That's 5,000 US dollars for the year for all access members to the team. And again, that's within a $5,000 budget with savings included.
With savings, maybe I should sign up for this then, Matthew. But any more questions, guys? Feel free. Matthew and Daniel don't bite. Okay, here's another question. Do the credits apply to ArcGIS Enterprise as well?
So what we find, Danica, is that most enterprise organizations, they actually, as mentioned, work hybrid. So from time to time, they may need credits for the ArcGIS online component, but most of the features within the enterprise, they don't utilize credits. Mostly that's for ArcGIS on online deployments and activities hosting there. But hosting on your own systems won't require credits. Storing data, that doesn't require on your side, on the enterprise side.
Okay, thank you again for that, Matthew. I'm sure all of us don't want to be held up too much by this webinar, so I'm thinking we can have 30 more seconds just to see if anyone has any more questions. Then we can wrap this up. Okay, so the questions are popping up now. Good stuff, very good stuff. Okay, so we have a question here from Paige. What are the discounted rates for nonprofits as it related to the user conference, virtual and in person? So they want to know if the user conference is going to be virtual or in person, and what are the discounted rates?
Good day, Paige. So I'm not sure. I can get that. I can ask and get that information to you, particularly around the user conference attendance. I'm not sure of any particular non-profit discounts in relation to the user conference itself, but we can check it out. And whether virtual or in person, if any discounts apply, regardless, we can also let you know. Mr. Benskin. All right, wait. Before I get to Mr. Benskin's question, let me answer Zina's question. Can you share credits outside of your organization? Example, another government department developing an app. Unfortunately not. The credits would be on your account. So you wouldn't be able to share the credits from organization to organization. It would be deployed to your account. But I will say we can recommend it to Esri. That's the most that we can use. But you wouldn't be able to share in and out of your organization. For Arlan Henry, all our webinars are on the last Wednesday of each month. So it would be on the last Wednesday of March, which would be the 26th of March. That would be our next webinar. To answer your question, Mr. Benskin, I would probably take that one offline, and we can get you a complete answer. So I I'm sure we would have an email based on the registration. We can set up a call to go through that with our professional services team to speak through that.
Okay, rapid fire question and answer. Love that, Matthew. So just a final call. Do we have any more questions before we wrap up? So we have Mr. Benson asking, can you share the recording from the previous session? So all recordings of the webinars are posted to our YouTube channel, Spatial Innovision. So you can see previous webinars as well as the recording for this webinar after we've completed. No problem. So we're bringing this question and answer segment to a close. I am inviting Daniel to just wrap up for us.
All right, thank you, Kamisia. So I truly hope that you guys enjoyed the insights and the materials that we shared in this webinar. And I truly hope you guys are looking forward to put everything that we mentioned in practice. So we have some contact details here. That's if you guys are interested in the various license types or anything GIS wise. So you have my email here, Daniel Griffith, sales officer at spatialvision.com. And then I have the email here from my colleague, Matthew Webster. And you can also call the numbers on display. So we just want to thank you on behalf of the team, Matthew, Kamisia, and myself, want to thank you for coming out, everyone. We truly appreciate each and every one of you and their time. So thank you again and have a nice one.